Right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday and our vintage Burgundy tasting. This is the third one we've done in the course of just 3 months this year. First we started out with red, then white, and then a mix of red and white. This one, the crescendo, the coup de grace rather, and wow, all of the wines on the table this evening. All 10 wines were fantastic. We always add a few extras like the Yesteday Special Club, one of my favorite champagnes, the special clubs from the small growers in the 20 Grand Cru villages. Actually, this one was Premier Cru. So I'm wrong. I got to do a little research about these special clubs. I thought they were all Grand Cru, but Yesteday clearly says on their Premier Cru. But wonderful way to start off with Burgundy tasting, a little bubbly, and then on to the whites, which the whites, all four of them, I thought showed nice. The Bernard Moray Batard Montrachet showed a little bit of oxidization. This Premox issue we've not had a big problem with here at the Wine Watch in our tastings. You know, it's well documented that people that love Burgundy, white Burgundies, have noticed a high incidence of oxidization in younger whites. And God, we did a tasting here with vintage whites going back to 94, and all of the whites were outstanding. We had our last tasting, and as this one, like I said, the only one was this Moray, but had a little bit of an oxidative quality, but still nice. Very good with the pork belly, with the orange marmalade and the foie gras sauce. Wow. All right, we started out with the 1996 Favorly Courton Charlemagne. This one's got a good amount of tree fruits, lemon drop candy, green apple, flinty minerally notes, some butter brioche, rich and creamy on the tongue with a good amount of that bright lemon drop candy fruit, a firm hand of acidity, a nice touch of creme flan. This was my favorite white, although it didn't win the tasting. The Paul Pernod Batard Montrachet, 96, hands down the winner. 9 votes for first place, so more votes than any red wines got. We get everybody picked a red and a white. Overwhelmingly, this wine the favorite in the white category. And just an exotic bouquet on this wine. Kind of white peach, fresh buttered popcorn, that diacetyl, the byproduct of malolactic fermentation, really showing in this wine. And but it had a lot of everything else. Whetstone, really complex bouquet. A lot of lush, opulent fruit on the tongue. That white peach, the lemon drop candy, citrus, and butterscotch candy on the finish. Just a long layered finish. A lot of acidity here. Killer juice. The Bonneau de Martre Courton Charlemagne up next. This wine took a long time to open up, and I decantered all the whites. Something people do not believe in doing, decantering Burgundy, but I decanter white and red Burgundy, and these wines were all good the next day. Some of them even better, like the Courton Charlemagne. They definitely showed up. Candy corn, kind of lemon drop candy, hints of vanilla, some flinty minerally notes, rich and creamy on the tongue. This wine's got a lot of fruit still, and nice minerality showing on the finish, leaving the tongue refreshed. A firm hand of acidity here, most excellent juice. The Bernard Moray was a slightly oxidative, orange peel, kind of red apple. Wine got better as the night went on, but like I said, really nice with the food. That pork belly dish with the orange marmalade and foie gras sauce really made this wine sing. A lot of fruit showing up on the palate there. Bitter orange note on the finish though, caramel, and a little bit muted on the second day. Not as good as the first day. The Old Dogs, we started out with a village wine. Everything else was Grand Cru on the table. So, hey, Loire got 2 votes for first place because actually everything on the table got a vote, at least 1 vote. And this wine really showing the quality of wines from this cellar. That a village wine from a vintage like 69, which was a very good vintage, not a great vintage, still very drinkable. Good amount of earth on this wine, some smoked meaty notes, a bit of still has a bit of fruit though, and dark earth, a lot of spice though, and earth, and really impressive for a village wine. You know, some red tangy berry fruit showing there still through the finish, and nice freshness, that dark spice, black tar like notes. Excellent juice though, man, really good. Not the wine of the night. The Jacques Prieur Moussigny, by far the wine of the night, with 5 votes for first place in the red category. Good amount of earth here. This wine really showing what great old Burgundy is all about. I've had a chance to drink this wine 3 or 4 times now, and it has been killer every time. This wine took a little longer to open up. The truffles, the exotic spices showing from moment one, but the raspberry fruit really came out as this wine blossomed and had this wonderful exotic quality to it. Smooth and silky on the tongue, layers of that exotic spice, red raspberry fruit, and still very fresh and balanced. This one got 5 votes for first place, and killer juice once again. The 83 Drouhin Bon Mar was very pretty. You know, this is a vintage that's showing at its peak right now. Spices, mint, raspberry, red cherry fruit, smoky notes, very exotic bouquet here, smooth and silky on the tongue, a nice amount of red berry fruit, lovely freshness, exotic spices, most excellent juice. As was the 85 Comte de Vogüé Bon Mars. This wine, killer. I mean, really exotic bouquet of spice box, truffle, minty, herbal notes, a solid core of red and black cherry fruit, plump and juicy on the tongue. This wine just drinking at its peak, all the corners round and silky smooth, really nicely on the second day. This wine really echoing that spice, truffle, and earthy notes from the nose. 3 votes for first place, making it the second most popular wine of the night. On to the 90s, which needed time. You know, 90 is a great vintage. This wine, the Comte de Vogüé Musigny, a little bit of controversy here. Would it ever come around? Very tannic, the fruit not very showy, but on the second day, yes, starting to come around. Big black cherry fruit, an array of exotic spices, earthy notes. Like I said, a bit closed on the first day, but after it opened up, this wine really shined. Most excellent juice, a long layered finish. This wine will be around for quite some time. I would hold on to your 90s. If you're going to drink them, open them up 5 or 6 hours before you drink them, like this 90 Yesteday Musigny, which was awesome, killer. To me, one of the wines of the night on the second day. Again, it needed time to open up. An array of dark spices here, old leather, mushroomy notes, really tightly wound. After it opened up, though, revealing some lovely dark cherry fruit, thick and viscous on the tongue, lots of dark spices and earth, and a firm hand of acidity. Really long finish. Killer juice. And that's what we had to drink at our vintage Burgundy tasting. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.